First name Sammy, last name Bibb. When I retired in September 90 as a Master Gunnery Sergeant, which is an E9, highest enlisted rank held. Born in Turkey Run, basically Monette. I chopped a lot of cotton, picked a lot of cotton, okay? Drove a lot of tractor. And then when I graduated from high school, I worked in factories. I got married, and then I couldn't find the factory that I really liked. Then when that happened, I was getting divorced. I just joined the Marine Corps, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I was on the verge of being drafted, and I enlisted, and just before I left boot camp, I met the wife I'm married to now. We had 2 dates, and that lady wrote me every week, 2 or 3 times a week while I was in boot camp. She stood next to me 23 and a half years. Okay, so in my opinion, she served every day that I served. All the deployments overseas and here in town, in the U.S., she never complained one time about me being gone, but I learned something in boot camp. Regardless of what I want to do, what I want to accomplish, it's up to me 100%. That's the only way I got through boot camp. Marine is always a basic rifleman. It doesn't matter what his military occupational specialty is. Like mine was aviation supply, but I am a basic infantryman. Well, after I got out of boot camp and come back and went to school, I liked it. My wife and I got married 13th of January. I went in boot camp in May of '67. I left Cherry Point, North Carolina, in November of '69. Went to Camp Pendleton for 30 days combat training. And then in December of '69, I arrived in Da Nang, Vietnam. Stayed there for a year. The biggest memory I've got about my Marine Corps career is the closeness of the Marine Corps. You will never hear a Marine that's not a brother or sister, unless they got some kind of bad conduct discharge. Well, I served in aviation supply, and then I had 3 years on recruiting duty. And my goal when I first joined the Marine Corps, my first duty station was Cherry Point, and I wanted to be a group supply sergeant. And that's what I finally ended up getting to do before I retired, was a group supply sergeant. I had about a little over 200 Marines underneath me, and they were more family than they were Marines, okay? But the countryside in Vietnam is a lot, it's nice. They got rice paddies, they got jungles. The only thing they got that we don't have is monsoons. I've seen it rain so hard over there you couldn't see that door behind you. It comes straight at you, not down, straight at you. And the people that I was around when I wasn't out in the field were fantastic. When I left Vietnam, I left aboard a Navy ship. Went to Iwakuni, Japan, spent 2 months before I flew home. I retired when my wife and I went on a cruise. I was all in the process of retiring, and when we got back, my colonel said, "We're fixing to go somewhere, I can tell you where." Well, I knew. Okay. And he said, "I can stop your retirement if you want me to." And give me 24 hours, Colonel. He did. And I decided, no, I'd already put my family through one war. I was not going to put them through another one. But it was hard because I thought of those Marines as my children, my kids, my brothers and sisters. So it was hard to walk away from them, but I did. Well, when I come back, I first went to work for a roast manufacturing. They laid me off because production was slow. I went to work for Coleman Dairy. I didn't like that. Then I went to work for a Airmark Uniform Services, spent about 13 years with them. And I've worked part-time a couple of times since then. I had a lot of nightmares, okay? Right after I got back, I go to bed early, and I get up early, okay? But if my wife or anybody, the bedroom door be open, if anyone would walk into that bedroom door, I wouldn't know it. And it took several years to get calmed down. But with God's help and my family's help, I've come to a point that I can live with it. If I hadn't had the support of my family, it wouldn't have been as easy, but I just had to slowly take it easy and adjust. And I'll be honest with you, I still miss the Marine Corps. It's hard to get it out of your system because we were close. You know, like I said, brothers and sisters. The life lessons I learned in the Marine Corps is, like I said when I first started, it's up to you whether you want to get anywhere or not, whether you want to accomplish anything or not. If you don't, you're not going to. You're going to have to put over 100% into whatever you want to do. And I learned that in boot camp. Because I couldn't run 3 miles in the time limit, but I did before I graduated from boot camp. I accomplished what I did, you know, received the rank of Master Army Sergeant, highest enlisted rank there is, by my effort into it, by what my wife and my family and I put into it. Okay? Oh Lord, life lessons. I grew up in boot camp. I'll tell you that right now. I grew up, I thought I was grown when I went in, but I wasn't. I matured. If you want to join the military, be ready for it. You got to put a lot of effort into it. Don't go in there and think it's going to be an easy trip, because it's not. Life's not an easy trip. You run into problems daily. I'm 78 years old, and I still have problems. But I know that I can deal with it because of what I learned in the military. Well, the military in general is good, okay? My outlook on war, I don't really care who it is, it's senseless. It is completely senseless because it don't resolve nothing, in my opinion. That's my opinion, okay? Sometimes you have to because you've got people that want to take your land away from you or something. Sometimes you have to. But you're not going to accomplish anything. People get hurt, killed. And I'm not talking military, I'm talking women and children. A lot of people say, well, I've seen Private Ryan and all those shows on TV. That don't touch combat. It does not. Well, you've got to have somebody to help. You know, family support. And nowadays, family support is very weak. And that's my opinion. It's very weak. I just, you know, excuse me. We just lost a daughter. She passed away approximately this time last month. And if it hadn't been for my Marine Corps brothers and sisters, my family, and God and Jesus there to support me, we wouldn't have made it. So you've got to have support from family. All I can say is Semper Fidelis. That's the Marine Corps motto, always faithful. Once you take an oath, you raise your right hand, take the oath. You swear to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And nobody has taken that away from me. I'm still under that oath. And any military person will tell you the same thing, regardless whether Air Force, Navy, or Marine Corps, they'll tell you the same thing. That oath still stands.